Here's another question for you today, Gordon. It's always me, I initiate the questions. Apart from the gong, what instrument you personally like to play when you day-to-day basis?
Well, Yiling, it just so happens that I've pulled out some of my favourite instruments that I like to play for my enjoyment and pleasure. Maybe sometimes I take them outdoors to play as well.
Yeah.
They actually reflect my background a bit because most of them are drum related, although they're very different sorts of instruments. So the first one,
it's all percussions.
Yeah, the first one, which is in front of us here, in front of me here, this sort of, what is this here? I have featured this in some recordings and some videos in the past, but it's kind of, people don't think of it necessarily as a drum because it's a melodic instrument, but it's called a tank drum, and we play it with these mallets, and I really like to play it for my own enjoyment. It's got such a lovely melodic, and you can just get lost in the beautiful resonant sound. So shall I give a little demonstration of this and why people might think it's such a nice instrument to listen to as well as to play? We've done some videos on these instruments, but this is just a demonstration of how you can pick up these instruments and just get immediately transported into another realm. You know, if you want to, if you're feeling, you know, it's just this instrument. I think it's just really relaxing. And the moment you hear it, it just takes you to another place.
Yeah, yeah. I know you play it quite often. Sometimes twice a week, twice a day. It's just when you pass it, just.
Well, one of the good things about this is it's not packed away in a storeroom, and it's kind of out, and I can pick up the mallets and play any time. And ideally, that's the best place to have any instruments. But if you've got quite a few like me, some of them unfortunately have to get put into a storage place, and you have to pull them out and play them, and have a deliberate reason to play them. But this one is there ready to play all the time, so I do play it quite often. Yeah,
good. So the next one
is this one, which is another kind of, not one that we kind of necessarily.
Can you tell me?
Okay, I've got it. This one doesn't look like a drum either much. Can you see, viewers? It's this tongue drum. That was a tank drum. This is a tongue drum. Tongue drum because it's got
tongue.
Wooden. This is now. That was, you know, strictly speaking, that's metal. This is wood. So this has got a more mellow sound. I mean, that was mellow sounding, but this is mellow in a different way. It's got a kind of a hint of a melody to it because we've got these different.
Yeah, this is wooden, so it's warmer characters.
Now, this instrument, Yiling, I've had for years, many years.
We have the video if you are.
I used to play this really a lot, and I used to love to take it out and play it outside, particularly under trees. It's a great instrument to play in natural environments. Of course, it's nice to play at home. It's lovely to play on wooden floors. It kind of resonates through the floor. It's not ideal, although I've got this on a wooden stool here. when it's on the floor, it really does make this beautiful resonance through the wooden floor. So that's an old favourite of mine, the tongue drum.
Yeah. Okay. And the third instrument?
Right, the next one. This one's a bit more recent. And I'm not ever... This is a hand drum. This is a real, drum, if you like. Drum. This is what people would, recognise a drum. It's got a drum head on the top, and actually this kind of design drum you can find.
African drum.
Yeah, you can find these all over the world, in Latin America, in Africa particularly. But we got this in Bali, in Southeast Asia, and they also make these kind of drums in Bali. All different sizes. This is a portable one, quite small. I generally will play it, but I can actually do it like this here. I generally play it sitting down, but I mean, it's true. You can play it under your arm like this, but it's a bit awkward. You really need a strap over your
shoulder.
If it was on a strap, you could play it easier. But because we haven't got a strap like that, it's best to play it between your knees. Now, this instrument has been, go on.
Very good for dancing,
It is. And, I've used this instrument on a lot of recordings.
Oh,
we did this Chakra Dance album a while back.
Every time you play the drum.
And it features quite a lot on that, because that's for movement. And of course, these kind of drums, it makes you want to move about. It makes you want to dance, doesn't it? And so I really like to do this to play. It's kind of it really does make you feel more, in playing it, it really makes you feel more enervated and energized, I think. Whereas those first two instruments maybe were nice for relaxing. This one's really for kind of moving around and feeling energized, I think. I call this a Bali drum, but of course it's probably got a technical name, which I don't know what it is, but that's my Bali drum.
So what's the next instrument for you?
Right, I've got a percussion background. Most people these days know me as a gong player, but I played drums and percussion since I was a boy, and so I'm naturally attracted to drum type instruments of all sorts. And
percussion.
When Eileen got this wonderful,
beautiful. I was helping so many people by this
frame drum.
Upside down,
frame drum. These are sometimes viewed called shamanic drums, although we've got our own reasons for being a bit uncomfortable.
I'm
calling
already
them
helping dozens of people acquire different kind of shamanic drum. This is the best.
So why are they called shamanic drums? Because shamans use this kind of design drum in traditions all around the world. They're frame drums, so-called. That's the actual term that we use to make frame drums. They're very simple, although this is an exquisitely made version of a frame drum. It's not actually circular. It's got an actual, not octagonal. Many sides. I think it's, how many sides are there here? 12?
I forgot.
I think it's look, I'm not going to count. Maybe 8 octagonal, is it? Octagonal, And this wonderful lattice work of chords tightening up the head on the front, which is what is this? Is it a
goat hide?
Goat hide. And so I love to play this drum.
those two drums are very different. When you play the Belizean drum, I feel like dancing, or African drum. But this is when you play, I can feel all my cells, vibrate, very, different.
When we say powerful drums,
this
is a powerful drum, and it's
very
it's
different
not
with a
that
dancing drum.
Big. No. It's got a fairly wide diameter, but it's not a big drum. So power is not just in size. One thing that I think is interesting, I just thought when I was playing this, that when I first was really properly introduced to these drums, really by Yiling. So I wasn't really familiar with these drums until I was introduced to them by Yiling. Well, actually, some years ago now. But to start with, I thought, I'm not so sure about this, because I like to play drums with both hands. At least I come from a background where I'm playing with 2 hands and 2 feet as well, sitting down and playing, a drum set. So having only one hand to play something with, I thought, I'm not sure that you have to hold this, and there's only one. It's very restrictive, I thought, but in fact, nonsense, it's not
powerful.
That, it's the nature of the instrument you play, how the technique is to play it is with one hand, and of course you bring up, it's got such a variety of sounds, and as you say, it really takes you to another place. It's very, very powerful, and really the
deep
physical resonance that you feel.
Yeah, it's different with dancing drum.
You don't just
so
hear it.
Different.
You don't just hear it, you really do feel it. Like the big gongs in that respect.
Yeah, okay, so the last instruments?
The last instrument, surprise, surprise, is not a drum.
Finally, it's not a percussion.
We've got another instrument, and actually, it's thanks to Yiling in many ways that she's encouraged me to kind of branch out and try out different instruments, because she was always saying to me, "You're the musician."
You're the musician.
And so, musicians, from her point of view, musicians are supposed to be able to play musical instruments.
Every instrument.
I don't know if she expects me to play the violin or anyway.
You can play the
instruments,
piano,
like the drums. I'm naturally appealing. But then there are other ones. When I was a young boy at school, I used to play the recorder and later on the clarinet, and I didn't really pursue that, and I just fell in love with drums.
Carry on.
But I was introduced to this instrument a while back. It's called an overtone pipe or overtone flute, or it's also called a shepherd's flute.
Yeah, shepherd's flute.
I think because shepherds may have played them. And the feature of this is that it doesn't have any. Normally, you think of pipes having holes to make different notes. Well, this one doesn't have any. All it's got is a hole at the end, an air hole at the end, and then a little mouthpiece. And it looks like a stick of wood because that's all it is. It's still got its original tree bark on it. It's just a straight. Somebody's found a nice straight piece of wood on a tree, chopped it down, and bored a hole in it, put a mouthpiece in it, and lo and behold, you've got a.
We got another piece of video too, but you can play now.
You've got a.
So overtone pipe.
So, everybody, you can. Although it's so basic, it's got this enormous range. It's called an overtone pipe, that's one of its terms, but the overtones are the higher notes that you can hear, which are the different from low to high are created entirely through how hard you blow, and you get an extra bit of variety through playing this up, the single hole in it. But it's amazing how many notes and how much variety of sounds and different melodies that you can play on it. It's such a simple instrument. Again, this is an instrument I love to take out into the woods and out into the nature because it's kind of, I'm taking it back to literally to its roots. If I'm sitting under a tree playing it. So this is kind of my favorite non-drum instrument probably.
Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing your personal collection here. And the next video, I will share with my personal interest.
Right. What I was going to say was because I think people call these the professional marketers, in other words, people not like me, call these call to action at the end of videos. But really, we actually have got many. If you like any of these individual instruments, check out our other videos. Check out our other videos on our channel, because there's actually whole videos on each of these instruments. And also, we have many recordings on CDs and downloadable files that if you're really interested in following up and
I was helping more than I don't know how many dozens people to acquire the ten drum, the shamanic drum.
That's right. We've got
all the people. They are happy.
These instruments that we're playing here are the best of the best, and so particularly the shamanic drum and the tank drum. If you're interested, we've got an insight into where a good buying advice on them. Anyway,
thank you very much. Stay tuned. I will share my personal collection next time.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.